Joe Biden is ready to tango.
Donald Trump said he's ready to debate you right now. Do you accept?
You just said that on radio.
Pardon me?
What does debate you immediately, you said?
Immediately?
Yes.
Will you debate him?
If I were him, I'd want him to debate me too. He got nothing else to do.
Oh, my.
But somebody's getting ahead of their depends. Donald Trump scoring his largest lead yet against Joe Biden in the latest poll by NBC and increasing his lead there by 5 points. Donald is up 23 points when it comes to who has the better mental and physical health to be president. Trump also blows Biden out of the water on the economy, besting Joe by more than 20 points. And black voters are a big reason why.
I mean, you know, Donald Trump has a reputation of being the money man.
Reading some of the things that he talks about with business, I can kind of agree with as far as business-wise, because I'm trying to grow my business. As far as Biden, I haven't seen Biden really care about business like that.
A lot of my friends are obviously my age, so we're a little younger. We've only voted once, you know, for a president, and Trump is kind of all we know. We were broke with Biden. We weren't with Trump. And that's kind of the only thing that I'm hearing over and over again.
With numbers that bad, the media is going to need a whole squad of therapy llamas to cope.
Brutal economic poll numbers for President Biden come despite most of the key economic indicators remaining extremely strong.
The economy is so striking, Steve, because jobs are up, inflation is down. Voters aren't giving him credit for that, clearly.
How do you solve it when people have concluded that you are not fit to be the president of the United States today, let alone 4 more years?
I'll just say it right here, a lot of them shocking to me. I mean, outrageous. Everything cutting again, which again, for me is so preposterous. It's laughable.
Yeah, no facts in there. Jesse, Joe Biden says he's not going to do the interview in the Super Bowl halftime. Right. Is this an opportunity for Trump to do it? Shouldn't CBS say, hey?
Because he's really the president right now?
Yes. Did you know?
You didn't mean that.
I see what you did there. Well, listen, this is what, Norah O'Donnell doing it? Last year it was Brett Baer who he canceled on. This is Norah. They only wanted 3 minutes. Oh. This is an election year. You're dodging the Super Bowl interview. You're not really campaigning for president if you're dodging. That's softball after softball. The first question's on Ukraine, second's Gaza. The third question's what are you going to eat when you watch the game? That's 3 minutes. He can't survive that. That tells you everything you need to know. Now, the media's lost touch with the street. Now, I have my ear on the street, and when I say my ear, I mean Johnny. Johnny goes out there and talks to people, barbershops, wherever he's at, and it's the same thing. There was money in your pocket 4 years ago. Now there's not as much. If you look at that wage growth chart, Greg, I know you sleep with that chart.
You know it.
Wage growth after the Trump economic tax and regulation policies kicked in went through the roof. Wages skyrocketed. And then Fauci's funded Wuhan lab just killed it. And then Biden's energy and spending policies crippled the wage recovery. So people don't have as much money now. And that's just the bottom line. You can talk about these Wall Street numbers like GDP and jobs, but that doesn't, it misses the kitchen table issue that people are really feeling.
Unlike you.
Unlike me.
Yes. Harold, I go to you for no particular reason. Blacks. Like everybody else, the economy matters. Maybe the lesson for Democrats is the only color that brings the country together is green. What say you, Harold Ford Jr.?
Being in that barbershop, watching the barbershop scene there, it's something that, frankly, I'm hearing from friends and others around the country who have their own Johnnies that are out helping them understand what's happening. I'd say a couple things to Democrats. One, into the White House, you're making a mistake not to do the Super Bowl interview. I think Jesse is right in terms of the 2 or 3 questions, amount of time. It gives the president an opportunity to get as many reps in his practice as he may need and others may need to begin to lay out the agenda and the vision for the campaign. 2, when the president walks out of an event, he's got to, regardless of the question, be railing off point after point after point why he should be reelected. There shouldn't be any waiting for the question, trying to be funny about things. This is a serious moment. This polling data, this is the first time in my lifetime where both, well, I should say, when Mrs. Clinton, Secretary Clinton and than candidate Donald Trump. Both of them had plus 95% name recognition, and people felt like they knew them. This will be the same. We've never had one president and a former president in my lifetime running against one another. So everybody knows them. So you have to be on your A game every time you get off that helicopter, when you get off that plane, when you come out the Oval Office, and certainly when you come out an ice cream shop, if you're on the campaign trail. Finally, this issue with black men is serious. I started with it, Jesse, and Greg started with it. You should take seriously what those young men are saying, because I don't think it was just isolated to those 4 young men there. It's not animosity towards the president. What it's saying is you're not meeting me where we are. There are things in our lives that are not broken but are in disrepair. Help us to fix them. And the candidate that is able to do that will have the best chance. There are 3 dates I say all the time in the presidential year: Memorial Day, what gas prices are; the 4th of July, what food prices are; and early August, when schools across the country. We start late here in New York, but the South, where I'm from, in the Midwest, where kids are starting in early August, the back-to-school prices for kids. This is a big, those 3 moments, and then obviously after Labor Day, the thing gets really going here. You got to get focused on this faster, and I hope you reverse your decision on the Super Bowl. I want to see you before the Super Bowl, Mr. President. I want you to tell me again why you should be president again.
Judge, the Dems, as you saw in that montage, kept talking about this robust economy, but the American people don't feel it. And they're actually like going, what's wrong with you people? Why don't you notice this?
Yeah, you know, Kristen Welker in particular, she's truly shocked by this stunning Biden-Trump poll. You know why? They live in their own world of Trump derangement. They live in a world where they hate Trump so much, they're not listening to regular Americans, whether it's in a barbershop, and I was so impressed with that, or whether it's in a supermarket. But something is happening in America today. Something is happening when you've got immigration as the #1 issue, and you've got Trump beating Biden by 30 points, when Biden has the opportunity to formulate policy on that very issue. You've got Americans now who are angry. They remember what President Trump tried to do. They remember the beat down by the Democrats on the wall and every other issue of racism, and he was xenophobic and all this other stuff. And they're like, wait a minute. And when it comes to the blacks in particular, because I'm answering you. When it comes to blacks in particular, and I didn't turn around and look at you for that one. When it comes to blacks in particular, I said when he went from 85 to 62%, a drop of 25% in black voter support for Biden, I thought a lot of that had to do with the fact that, you know, here's Donald Trump. This guy's getting prosecuted like we are. But the bigger thing now is immigration and how that intersects, because immigration is now affecting black Americans and minorities in this country, where they are watching in real time their school programs, schools, sports centers, gyms, all these places where black parents and black mothers in particular have an opportunity to send their kids after school to school programs to keep them out of the gangs, to keep them away from selling drugs, to keep them occupied, are being taken away from them. They are Americans, and they're being given to illegals about whom we know nothing, who can beat down police officers and then get bailed immediately and let out and run to another state. That doesn't happen to African Americans in this country, but it's happening to illegals. And you know what? That's going to blossom at the top of the highest race in this country.
It is interesting, Dana, the way the judge lays it out. It almost sounds like migrants are getting reparations. Wait a second. How did you get in front of us?
They're called preparations.
Preparations.
Before you are a citizen even, you get all of these benefits. A couple of things from me. Biden ran a basement campaign in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
They would love to reprise that. That's part of the not doing the Super Bowl interview. Because to me, for them, the risk is too great.
Yeah.
Because the #1 issue, and one of the issues in the poll from NBC News, was competency and age. And as my friend Colin Reed says, Father Time is undefeated. And that is one of his biggest problems. So I actually personally am okay with the Super Bowl tradition going away for president. Like, enough. Like, maybe we can all just take a pass on that and it would be fine. But it is interesting that they'll pass it up. But I think it's because the risk is too great. Also wanted to point out that, do you remember last May, ABC News had a poll that had Biden and Trump about at this polling level. And ABC News tried to disavow their own poll and said, this is an outlier, this isn't happening. This is actually real. And the stories about black men, they're proliferating. The Washington Post had one about all the economic issues. Plus, the other thing that this didn't capture, aside from black men, it's the high credit card debt, impossible to buy a home, hard to get childcare. Cars are still expensive, but car insurance is also extremely expensive. House insurance is very expensive. So everything is up. And that's why if the stock market is up, that's great for a lot of people. Jobs also may be good, but it's going to take a while for people to feel a lot better about the economy.
Maybe Trump should do halftime at the Puppy Bowl.
The Puppy Bowl.
He doesn't like dogs.
How does that go?
Well, they have a halftime and he does a Q&A with the dog whisperer.
Oh, Puppy
Bowl. You don't know the Puppy Bowl?
No, we watched the real game.
The Puppy Bowl is better than the Super Bowl.
Yeah, sure,
Come on,
Greg.
people. You know I'm right. All right, up next, Kamala rolling up her pantsuit for a 2028 presidential campaign.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.